everyone, welcome to the channel. Have you ever noticed how one person loses 80 pounds on a GLP-1 medication when somebody else can barely lose anything at all? For years, doctors and patients have noticed huge differences in how people respond to medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, Zepbound, and of course, Mounjaro. And now researchers may have discovered one reason why. A major international study found that about 1 in 10 people carry genetic variants that may make them partially resistant to GLP-1 medications. Can you imagine? Meaning that their bodies produce GLP-1, but they don't respond to it normally. And honestly, the science behind this is pretty wild. So this research was published in the journal Genome Medicine after nearly a decade of work involving human studies, mouse studies, and clinical trial data. Researchers from Stanford Medicine and several international institutions focused on something called the PAM gene. Now, I know that sounds extremely sciencey, but stay with me because this actually matters. The PAM gene helps activate certain hormones in the body, including, you guessed it, GLP-1. And researchers found that some people carry specific PAM gene variants that appear to interfere with how GLP-1 functions. What's fascinating is that these individuals actually had higher levels of GLP-1 circulating in their bodies, but the hormone wasn't producing the normal biological effects. So even though there was more GLP-1 present, their bodies were not responding properly to it. Researchers started calling this phenomenon GLP-1 resistance. And here's where the study gets really interesting. At least I think so. The researchers originally expected these people to have lower GLP-1 levels. Instead, they found the exact opposite. Higher GLP-1 levels, but reduced effectiveness. The researchers compared it to insulin resistance. As somebody that has lived with insulin resistance, I can relate. In insulin resistance, your body produces insulin, but the cells do not respond efficiently to it. This may be something similar that is happening with GLP-1. The body is making the hormone, but the signaling pathway may not be working correctly further downstream. And researchers still don't fully understand why. In fact, one of the lead researchers literally called it the $1 million question. So what they do know is that people with these variants had a harder time lowering blood sugar levels on standard GLP-1 medications. So what does this actually mean in real life? First, this does not mean that GLP-1 medications don't work. They absolutely do. These medications have absolutely changed lives for many people, myself included. But this research may help explain why responses can vary so much from one person to the next. Some people will lose weight quickly, some people will lose it slowly, and some people will barely respond at all. And that variation may not just be about willpower, discipline, or doing it wrong. There may actually be biological and genetic reasons involved here. The study specifically found that people with these PAM variants had reduced blood sugar improvements on GLP-1 medications compared to people without the variants. And what's also interesting here is that the variants did not affect responses to other diabetes medications like metformin or sulfonylureas. So this resistance seemed very specific to GLP-1 related medications. Now, before anyone jumps to that conclusion that they are genetically resistant to GLP-1s, there are some really important caveats here. First, this research mainly focused on blood sugar regulation, not weight loss. The researchers themselves said they still do not know whether these variants significantly affect weight loss outcomes. The weight loss data they had was limited and inconclusive. Second, even among people with these variants, the medications may still help, just potentially less effectively. And third, newer and longer acting GLP-1 medications may partially overcome this resistance. In fact, in some pharmaceutical trials using longer acting GLP-1 drugs, researchers didn't see the same reduced response. So this is not a simple the medication works or doesn't situation. To me, as I'm taking all of this in, one of the biggest takeaways from this study is that obesity and metabolic health are incredibly complex. We are moving farther and farther away from the outdated idea that body weight is just about motivation or self-control. Thank goodness. Genetics matter, hormones matter, and biology matters. And I think research like this is important because it helps explain why two people can do the exact same thing and get completely different results. The researchers hope this could eventually lead to more personalized medicine, meaning one day doctors may be able to predict which medications someone is most likely to respond to before they spend months struggling on a treatment that isn't working well for them. Can you imagine? And of course, I would really love to hear what you all think and what your experience with GLP-1 medications has been like. Did you respond quickly, slowly? Do you feel like your results were very different from other people around you that were taking these meds? And if you've ever felt frustrated comparing your progress to someone else's, I think this research is an important reminder that our bodies are not all working the same way. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with somebody who is navigating the GLP-1 world too. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you in the next video.